The sun is low in the sky, making it hard to see what's on the table.
No, what's the problem? The sun is gone.
The sun helps.
One last stone to close out the last day on the mine.
So there's our man, Julius, after 25,000 crystals today. Well done, bud. Let me see.
I'm glad at the end of the day I got something. I'm really happy.
I finally cracked it, how to make that small fortune in diamonds that I've been promised. You start with a very big fortune, and it quickly becomes that small fortune. But look how beautiful it is.
For Don, the potential of this valley has always been more than just diamonds.
This is, as a tourism spot, it's second to none. 7,000 or 8,000 feet up, it's clean air. This is stunning country. It was never about the diamonds.
I'm very disappointed that it's over. I've enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed out here in the sticks. It's really been fantastic. It's an experience of a lifetime. Beautiful scenery. Sad to be going, sad to be going.
Conrad, Peter, and Stephen have come to Lesotho's capital, Maseru, to clear the stones with the mines department and to get an export license.
Just got out the vault. We've got the diamonds securely hidden in a place nobody would venture. Stephen's undies. And we're going to classify every single rough diamond in weight, in color, and we're going to record it so that that can go to the mines department later on today. On the strength of that, we'll get our export license.
3.88. You know, it's not even the money. For me, it's the fun and games and the intrigue. I love it. We've got all the toys, and we'll have a go. There are 4 things in a diamond that give it its value. The carat weight, the cut, the clarity, and the color. Obviously, carat weight's very easy. Put on a scale, boom, you've got the carat weight. But when you get to clarity, that's a whole new ball game. Even today, people will debate what that clarity is. Is it a VVS? Is it a VS? Color? They've got a color spectrum, and today everybody has a number of diamonds that are the colors, and they just match it with it. So you just turn the diamond on its side and you put it next to another one, and you can pick up color.
Unusual colors can fetch even more than perfect whites.
There's a brown here that I think is going to be pink. Here's a nice yellow diamond. Look at that.
Yeah, that's really pink.
I'm telling you, I think that's pink. We could get half what we think we've got. We could get double what we think we've got. I'm going to go for what I think it is as a cutter. Where's that second parcel? Oh, here. Yeah.
I'm going to walk back after this.
Now, that's money. All along, I'd wake up in the night and say, Jesus, is this Peter's folly? Have we just blown all this money in stupidity? But then I'd really sit down and say, you know what? That's impossible. Real is what's real. It's real. It's here. 21.71 and a 13.81. I mean, this is the kind of stones every mine wishes for. The wholesale is $227,000, 2.9 million rand. Wholesale. If you just go and sell these on auction and a one-off, well, then you'll make a small loss. And that would be stupid, because we've said all along that what we want to do is take them to the cut state so we can see it all the way through. We're going to transport it down to Cape Town. We're going to get it to the auctioneers. They will then give us their thoughts on value. As a cutter, I know how much difference there is. It's staggering. I don't want to lose that difference, and I've said that from the word go, that if we want to do this thing properly, we're going to cut it ourselves. Out of the 13, if we get a very good 5, and out of the 22, we get 2 good 5s. They're worth 1.5 million each minimum. So there's 4.5 million. Just out of the 2 big stones. Those 2-3 big stones could surprise the hell out of us.
Cape Town was once the home of a thriving diamond industry, but now only a few key players remain. The parcel has been exported, and this is where they will be polished and sold.
We should have 12 packets, 33 stones. Yeah.
The team at E Diamonds must verify the export documents and appraise the diamonds.
73.87. Correct.
They are experts in the diamond trade and will advise Peter on current market values and trends. They will also advise what to polish and what stones should be sold in the rough.
This color is not too bad either. When they polish it, they'll try to retain that color. This is the last parcel. Yeah, lot number 12, 10 stones. It looks like it's the leftovers, the cheap stuff. Every stone has its buyer. Every stone has its price. Some people are specifically looking for those. But overall, it's quite a nice product.
But there's some devastating news about the largest stone.
It looks milky. And milky stones usually are fluorescent.
Look at that. Diamonds are about getting the perfect stone. And that is seen as an imperfection because in natural daylight, there is UV light as well. And if it's blue fluorescent like this one is, it is said that the stone appears wider than it actually is. I think the first thing we need to do is get them cleaned. So they're still dirty now, and it's difficult to do a proper evaluation on them while the stones are still so dirty, so raw.
Peter was pretty accurate with his valuations. Some are a bit higher, some are a bit lower. It's actually those two big stones I think he's a bit expensive. But I would totally expect that from a miner, that when you pull out a big stone, suddenly you get big stone fever.
No.
Peter, Rob, and Kim have arrived in Cape Town to meet with E-Diamond's owner, Anthony, to discuss their options. The rough diamonds have all been washed in acid to remove any stains.
Now, there's still a little bit of black, but not much, eh?
Peter thinks this brown might be a highly valuable pink.
If you compare it to any other brown, I think that's going to change its color.
For a sampling exercise or a low-key mining exercise, there's very good product coming out.
To find one stone greater than 5 carats is rare.
If you had the right equipment up there, you're going to find the 60s, 70s, 80s thing. It's just going to be there.
Peter is not concerned about the fluorescence of the biggest stone.
Unbelievable. That is incredible. Once you cut it, who the hell knows, you know?
That gives you 100. 100 is rare, so it's an exceptionally rare stone. But for the wrong reason, again, it gives you a blue-white, D.
Now the question is, what is your guys' thoughts on this? Do we cut it all? Do we cut some?
It's not worth cutting all of these stones. Definitely not. It's a lot easier selling rough than it is polished, that's for sure.
They hope to cut 3 5-carat diamonds from the 2 biggest finds of the expedition.
Difficult to clean up because you've got glitz all over the place. I think you have to go for the 5-carat. You can't lose the 5, you can't lose the size. But I think it's okay, it's there. You've got enough depth.
But the 13-carat stone is full of chlets, feather-like flaws that can cause a stone to shatter during the cutting process.
You want to cut it? Take a chance, see what's in the inside.
And the big 21-carat stone is the wrong shape.
You see 2 5s
I just see
on
2 5s.
on either side of the
One
line.
either side, yeah. Shape is good for 2 5.
It's too shallow.
Shape is not there for 2 5-carat rounds.
I don't know, I thought it was.
Polishing always comes with risk, but it's possible to get up to 80% more return on cut stones.
Stone that documented, that's very, very rare. To have it documented from when you found it in the river, where people
Right
can
to the
see
end.
it, that does add value.
Peter decides to cut 20 of the 33 stones. Carlos of Clarity Diamonds will supervise the cutting process.
We want to put windows on, have a look what's inside, and then make a decision. If there is something in there, he would like to try and polish it.
We've got the best polishing facilities, but it's a natural product. Manufacturing is always a risk. A stone can shatter, small glitz can run, you know, so things do go wrong, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mark some windows. She's a good-looking baby.
It's a little bit fluorescent.
Look into that glitzy there. I love yellow stones, especially your fancies. This is straightforward. The fancy prices are good at the moment, eh?
Yeah. And there's a couple of browns in there as well.
Oh, it's just clean inside. Sometimes they can turn pink.
That's exactly what Pete said. He said that he's experienced with manufacturing some of these sooty browns. We can't ask for any more. For me, it just looks a brown stone.
The thing about a diamond is the more you look at it, the more illusion you get. So the more I look at it, it's like turning pink already, you know?
In the 70s, I joined a diamond cutting factory and I learned to cut diamonds, and that gave me a lot of insight into the diamond industry.
But things have changed dramatically since Peter was cutting.
I've been cutting diamonds for 40 years. Everything about diamond polishing has changed.
I'm a second generation. My dad used to sit on this same bench in the same chair, and now I'm sitting here.
The main change is the sarin machine, which maps the polished diamond onto the rough stone. On average, a polished stone loses 60% of its original weight. It's risky, so careful planning is essential.
This is a yellow fancy stone. You've got all these shapes that you can choose from to ask the machine to plan for you. In this case, we're going to go for the trillion. Gives you the best recovery. We'll gain a bit of diameter over here.
Once the optimal shape is chosen, the plans are given to the cutters.
A round stone is more valuable than a fancy cut stone. But the recovery on a fancy is more than on a round stone.
We are very happy because it held its color, and we're expecting it to be a intense fancy yellow. Purity is quite good, so pleasantly surprised with this stone. Henny's been working on the brown stone, which was the one that we were wishing could get a bit of a pink tone. Unfortunately, the color didn't turn pink. The stone was also very unfortunate because during the manufacturing process, a chletz ran a little bit, which is quite common when you're working with brown stones. But this stone is really worrying me because if that chletz shoots any further, it's going to go right through the stone. Then the stone is going to be worthless.
A diamond does have a grain. It's exactly like wood. If you take a log and you put it sideways, it takes a lot of chopping in a V to get through that log. But stand that log upright and hit it with the grain and it'll split instantly into two. A diamond is identical. You can shatter the stone. So today they use saws, very fine saw blade on which they put oil and diamond dust, and it slowly makes its way through the stone in the direction you want.
The brown stone goes for boiling. Henny starts on one of the white cubes.
When you start polishing the stone, you'll put a table on. The next stage is 4 sides at the bottom, which I normally like to do. This actually turned out to be a nice stone. Looked quite bad in the rough. Now that we started actually working on it, we can actually clean the stone up and end up with a very decent 1 character and a very nice color as well. Then it would go to bruting.
This machine just gonna give the stone perfect roundness and a smooth girdle.
The next stage is you'll put top corners on, and you'll do the same at the bottom, which will give you what we call the achtkant. Once this is completed, stone goes through quality control. It will come back and they will then do the brillianteering. They will split the facets. There's all your facets on.
Cutting diamonds is a constant seesawing battle, size versus purity.
What is it now?
I think it's a 48.5.
Oh, okay, that's good. Ali managed to recover a bit more weight. It's always pleasing to add weight because weight is money.
The stone with the biggest weight is next in line.
This is the 21 character. We're preparing the stone.
For the more complicated or risky stones, windows are ground onto the sides of the rough diamond to get a better look at the imperfections inside.
Once you put windows on it, you have to polish because you can't sell it in the rough anymore. So we're basically almost on the event horizon. No turning back.
Diamonds are always a gamble. You hope for the best.
We are running facets on it. Just hope for the best.
This stone's not looking good. It's full of kletzes.
That's why your polish is worth so much, because polishing stones are quite risky. I would have probably had more value selling it in the rough, because then you're selling the illusion.
Carlos now has the tough task of breaking the news to Peter.
Hi, morning Peter. How are you doing? You won't get a clean stone out there unless it's like a very smaller stone. Weight-wise, it's there, but you don't want to sit with 2 5-caraters. They've got 10 glitzers inside. There's an 8-carat in there. That's not going to be a nice stone. So my opinion is to make a smaller stone and try and get it as clean as possible to gain value. Let's hope for the best. Bye.
If that stone was a clean stone, it would be worth $300,000, $250,000. But because it's got little marks inside it, it's now worth $40,000. Big difference.
The story of us. It is what it is, as Peter Jago says. It is what it is.
Maybe we should have taken the advice of the auctioneers and sold it.
At this point in time, we are in a net loss position, which is quite funny actually, because we all thought we were going to, give up work and retire for the rest of our lives.
Of the 33 stones found in the Lesotho mountains, Peter was counting on the 2 biggest to make back most of their margin.
Those 2-3 big stones could surprise the hell out of us.
But there's a nasty surprise for the investors. The biggest stone is badly flawed and could shatter if it is cut.
After sleepless nights and a lot of planning, I've decided this is the best way to take the stone. So you lose about 60%. If I can, then we will laser, because then we'll have quite a big piece left. But if it's too risky, I'll rather lose the toppy and save the stone.
These have big cleats on the bottom. But you see, here's also cleats on this.
First of all, try and get a cleaner cullet.
The challenge will be to find a clean heart or cullet in the center of the 21 carater.
I'm just putting some borax on this plates here so that it doesn't run further into the stone. If you press it too hard, or the powder gets inside there, that cleats will run further and deeper into the stone.
There's quite a big cleats running into the stone, so depending on how deep this goes, the stone's going to get smaller.
We're first working on to clean the stone up a bit before we go for weight. You can't rush this. Cleats can run, stone get too hot, the stone is giving me flu. It's all the stress.
If we had to leave all the problems inside, it would finish about an 8 carat. I've got a feeling this stone's going to finish a 6.5. We'll have all those answers in the next couple of days.
Because you're running the table on the 21 carat, still trying to clean it up a bit. But this one's still have a lot of work to do.
Fortunately, some of the smaller diamonds have been completed with good results.
Happy with it. It's a SI stone. Looks very nice. And I think whoever's going to buy it will be very happy.
One of the gray stones looks like it might be a pink.
Are you still seeing that pink shine? Let Milton give it a cut on the other side just to get all those holes under control as well, so that we get our diameter. You see pink. Light pink. I think it's a reflection. Benny, I think he's been drinking a little too much cough syrup this morning, because he's seeing pink in there. I think it's from the brown cleats. That would be amazing.
Ali is putting the finishing touches on a 1 carat round. It's one of the most popular cuts on the market.
Making a mark on my rondas to keep it straight, so that I can make everything equal. I'm just seeing if everything is lining up. Looks right. Not fantastic yet, but when it's finished, it will be fantastic.
The final stage of cutting a diamond is to check it on the sarin machine for a XXX certification.
XXX is basically your cut being excellent, your symmetry being excellent, as well as your polish being excellent. Your cut is basically to see that all the degrees and all the facets are the same size. Your symmetry is to see that everything lines up, there's no facets kissing or open. What I then do after I did here on the sarin machine, I take it to the microscope to see whether the polish would be perfect.
Ali's perfect cut gets a XXX rating.
I think it's a very nice stone. It's a SI stone, I think color H about. Nice and sparkly.
He continues to battle impurities, but is almost at the heart of the big one.
So I want to draw a line on this stone now. I just want to make it straight. It's got a plan here.
The cut diamonds are not as valuable as Peter projected, but this doesn't deter him from laying new plans for the mine.
We've now applied for a full alluvial mining license along with a regular mining license, and we've asked them for a 10-year license.
We're researching machinery, what it's going to cost us to set up a proper mining plant there. Trying to meet guys that possibly go in with a joint venture. Obviously, it'd be a new type of work we would be doing. Hopefully be able to employ a lot more of them.
Back in Cape Town, the finished diamonds are ready for delivery. It's now time for the big stone to be cut.
I finished running the table. I took some of that cleats out that was on the top, but there still remains a lot of cleats in the stone. So I'm going to give it to Milton now. I think after Milton's cut it, will improve a lot. Start, stop, sommer klaar.
I'm busy just bringing the cutting wheel forward, and then I'm going to cut the stone. It's a 20 carat, and we normally work with 1 carat.
Being in charge of a diamond while working with it is sometimes a bit stressful, especially those nice big ones. You would think a diamond that's very hard is a thing that won't break easily, but a cullet's something that actually is very fragile.
Things happen, you know. I made a stone 1 carat, last star, the whole top broke off.
It's quite a big stone with big girdle, so there's quite some cutting to do.
I have quite sleepless nights, quite stressful, to have to face the owner and have to explain to him that something went wrong with his stone.
Fortunately, cutting has gone well, and the big diamond has survived intact.
This is the girdle that I've been working on. There's the luxury of this EOS machine. It doesn't break out gletses. and the girl is crystal clear. The stone is nearing its end now.
A lot better. I'm going to try and make it look even more better.
While Ali puts the finishing touches on the big one, there's great news about Henny's Grey.
This stone, initially, we thought nothing of it. It's actually got a pink shine to it. We polish thousands and thousands of stones, and it's very seldom that you get a pink result from a brown stone. That's why they're so valuable. Sometimes you get very pleasant surprises like this one.
Very happy.
I can't wait for the big one to be finished.
I just finished the bottom of the stone. I'm busy doing the top now, making the plates smaller. It looks a lot better than it looked yesterday. I'm first getting the maximum weight now that I can.
And your stone will finish 7.20.
This stone is all about size, not about purity.
You put that in a pendant or something, I think some lady would love it.
If you think of where it comes from the rough to what it is at the end of the day, if you know what a diamond goes through, how hard and how much work goes into it to have it shine as it does, I think you'd understand why it's worth it much.
Here we are back in Durban. It's almost a year to the day since we sat in our boardroom and discussed our adventure.
Let's see what we've got. Maybe we should have sold the rough. But you know, we decided this in the very beginning, that we're going to go to the mountains, try and find some diamonds. If we do, we're going to cut them to take it the whole distance. If we'd have taken the biggest stone we found and not cut it, we'd be still saying, well, what the hell would they have got? Listen, it's still a beautiful stone there.
I mean, that is very pretty.
Beautiful. That's a really big stone.
The rest have turned out better. There was a pink in here, so that's...
Exactly, there we go.
We succeeded in what we set out to do. We could have ended up finding absolutely nothing.
Nothing, yes. 17 carat per 100 ton.
That's very good.
And not only that, we now have coming a 10-year lease, 24 square kilometre claim with 7 fishes on it, coming off one of the world's most valuable pipes.
But the adventure has been priceless. The discovery of diamond-bearing volcanic pipes beneath their claim means they could be sitting on the jackpot.
I think we're very lucky. We're in the right place, right time, and hopefully it can go forward from here. The question is, what do you do with it? Whatever it's cost us. I had a ball. Don, who was in a very sad state after his wife's death, is a much happier man. The mountains did that for him. I think royalties and going forward, this claim is worth a couple of $1 million. So we've actually going to do very well out of it. Been some expensive school fees, but would I change it? No, I wouldn't.
Would I do this again? Yes, absolutely.
I'll go back in a heartbeat.
First prize for me, I'd like to be mining diamonds.
The allure of the diamonds will never go away.
The dream is still alive for the diamond hunters. They made a 50% return on their investment.